The huge human ships left Earth quietly on a Tuesday morning. Hundreds of massive vessels filled with millions of people, pets, plants, and everything they could take. The aliens who ran the Galactic Council barely noticed. They thought it was just humans being weird again. Red warning lights flashed on High Counselor Zextera's desk. She was a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 eyes and a bad attitude. She glanced at the alerts and yawned. Humans leaving. So what? She muttered, flicking the notification away. 5th time we reject them. 5th time they throw a fit. The council room was huge, with seats for 200 different alien species. Most seats were full, but the human section sat empty. Counselor Driel slithered into the room, his green tentacles moving nervously. His 3 eyes blinked rapidly. "Boss, this is different," he said, dropping a stack of papers on her desk. "They're all going. Every ship, every colony, every human we know about." "Let them go," Zextera laughed. "They'll come crawling back when they get hungry." On the main screen, a recording played of the last human speech to the council. Ambassador Alan Miller stood tall in his simple blue suit. Unlike the aliens with their fancy clothes and jewels, he dressed plainly but spoke powerfully. "For 50 years, we humans have given you our best," Miller said, his voice steady but sad. "We've shared our medicine that healed your sick. We've built ships that carry your people. We've grown food that feeds your children. Yet you treat us like servants instead of partners." He paused, looking each council member in the eyes. "Today, we're done asking for respect. We're leaving to build something better, without you." The room had filled with laughter that day. The frog-like trill aliens recorded his speech as a joke to play at parties. Nobody laughed now. The star map behind Zextera showed human colonies blinking out one by one. Each light represented thousands of humans, just gone. "They can't actually leave," Zextera said, but her voice shook. "Where would they even go?" Driel pointed to the empty darkness beyond the edge of the map. "Out there. They'd been planning this for years." A junior officer ran in, panic on his face. The human food shipments to Proxima 3 didn't arrive. 14 other worlds report the same. Zextera felt the first real chill of fear. "They'll be back," she said, but with less confidence. She was wrong, very wrong. And in just 90 days, the mighty Galactic Council would realize just how much they had depended on the humans they had pushed away. Gregory Nelson sat alone in his office on Proxima Station, staring at the empty chair where his alien friend's hologram had just been. The lights flickered, another power problem since the human technicians left. Greg was 55, with gray hair and strong hands that had built half the station. He was one of the few humans who stayed behind when the others left. His computer beeped. Another emergency message. "Where are our food shipments?" wrote the leader of Centauri Colony. "When will medicine arrive?" asked the hospital on Titan. "Our ships can't take off. All traffic controllers gone," screamed the message from Jupiter's moons. Greg rubbed his tired eyes. 3 weeks since the humans left, and everything was already falling apart. The door slid open. Krill, a tall green alien with 4 arms, rushed in. "Greg, the farms on Mars. They're empty. All humans gone." "I know," Greg said quietly. "But Mars grows food for 12 planets. Millions will starve." Greg nodded sadly. "I warned the council this would happen." "Did you know?" Krill's voice turned cold. "Did you know they would all leave?" Greg looked out the window at the stars. Every human knew. "We voted. The choice was clear. Why didn't you tell us?" Krill's 4 hands shook. "Would you have listened?" The council laughed at our ambassador. On the main council planet, emergency alarms blared in every building. High Counselor Zextera sat in her office, watching reports flood in. Human doctors gone from Central Hospital. 200 patients critical. Human mining ships abandoned. Fuel shortage imminent. Human engineers left mid-project. Reactor failing on Delta Station. Her assistant Driel rushed in, tentacles trembling. The official statement, "Boss, what should I tell the public?" Dexterra's blue skin had turned pale gray with worry. Tell them it's just temporary supply issues. Nothing serious." "But—" "Do it," she shouted, then lowered her voice. "We can't admit how bad this is." After Driel left, Dexterra pulled up the secret meeting request. All council members were gathering in 1 hour. How did this happen? She whispered to herself, scrolling through a list of critical systems that humans had been running. They were everywhere. Food, medicine, engineering, security. They filled gaps we didn't even know existed. Back on Proxima Station, Greg looked at the small device in his hand. It was a communicator that could reach the departing humans. He could join them even now. But he stayed, watching the galaxy he helped build start to crumble without his kind. "They'll learn," he whispered. "Maybe too late, but they'll learn what humans were really worth." 6 months after the humans left, things got really bad. On Arcturus, the biggest alien hospital in the galaxy went dark. The backup power systems failed, and no one knew how to fix them. 200 patients died before emergency teams could help. "These systems were built by humans," said Dr. Zorn, the blue-skinned head doctor. "The manuals are in human language, the parts have human labels, and the safety codes are based on human thinking." The hospital wasn't the only problem. The big galactic money system crashed when human-made computers stopped working right. Trillions of alien dollars disappeared overnight. On Proxima Station, Gregory Nelson worked day and night trying to keep things running. His hands were covered in burns and cuts from fixing broken machines. "Greg, I don't understand this," said Gorn, his alien helper. Gorn was short and orange with big eyes and 4 arms. He pointed at a box full of colored wires. "Why are some wires red and some blue?" Greg wiped sweat from his forehead. "Red means emergency power. Blue means air systems. Yellow means communications. But my species sees blue and yellow as the same color." "Humans didn't build this for your species," Greg said simply. "We built it for ourselves." This was the problem everywhere. Humans had built so much of the galaxy's important stuff, but they built it in human ways. Without humans around to explain things, aliens were lost. In the big council room, things were getting loud and angry. "My world has no medicine," shouted one alien. "My people have no food," yelled another. "My cities have no power," screamed a third. High Counselor Dexterra looked older now. Her blue skin had faded to gray, and her 4 eyes had dark circles under them. "We must stay calm," she said, but no one listened. The tall, bird-like leader from Jupiter's moon stood up. His feathers were ruffled with anger. "We must bring the humans back. Give them whatever they want. Full council membership, special rights, anything. And look weak." Dexterra shot back. "They are one species. We are many. We were fine before they came, and we'll be fine now." But even she didn't believe her own words anymore. Back on Proxima Station, Greg sat alone in his room, looking at old pictures of Earth. He was one of only about 1,000 humans left in council space now. "You were warned," he said to the empty room. "Humans asked for respect for 50 years. You laughed at us. Now you see what you've lost." His communicator beeped. It was a message from the council. "Emergency meeting. All remaining humans requested to attend." Greg smiled sadly. "So now they want to talk. Find them." The council gave the order, and the biggest search in history began. Alien ships went to places no one had explored before. Listening stations tried to hear human radio signals. The council even offered big rewards for anyone who found where humans had gone. But they found nothing. It was like 12 billion humans had just disappeared. Teams went to Earth, now almost empty. They found only machines keeping the planet clean and healthy. Museums were still full of art. Libraries still held books. But every bit of information about where humans went or how their best ships worked had been carefully erased. They planned this for years, said Captain Nell Branson, looking at Earth's empty cities. Nell was one of the last 100 humans working with the Council. She had short red hair and eyes that had seen too much. Every human settlement had secret evacuation plans built in from the start. But why? Asked Counselor Zixtera, her voice shaking. Why leave instead of fighting for a council seat? Nell smiled sadly. Humans learned long ago that some fights aren't worth it. When someone doesn't value you, sometimes it's better to walk away. The council sent search teams in all directions. No expense was spared. Ships that should have been carrying food or medicine were sent to search for humans instead. Check that system, ordered Driel, now promoted to search leader. His tentacles moved frantically as he pointed at star maps. They must have left some trail. But the humans had been clever. They left in thousands of ships going in different directions. Some went up from the galaxy, some went down, some went to the edges. Every trail disappeared after a few light years. On Proxima Station, Gregory Nelson watched the search ships come and go. They always returned empty. They won't find them, he told his alien friend Gorn. Humans found places to go that no alien has ever seen. But space is big, not endless, Gorn replied. We'll find them someday. Greg shook his head. The galaxy has 400 billion stars. Humans might be anywhere, or they might have gone to another galaxy. Zixtera grew older as the years passed. The search consumed her life. Her office walls were covered with maps marked with failed searches. They're out there somewhere, she would mutter late at night. No species can just vanish. But as years turned to decades with no contact, even she began to lose hope. Greg kept a secret all these years. In his private room, he had a special communicator that could reach the humans. Sometimes he got messages telling him he could still join them. But he stayed behind, watching the aliens learn a hard lesson. They'll find us when we want to be found, he whispered to himself. Not before. Life in the galaxy didn't end when humans left, but it changed in big ways. Alien species that used to let humans talk for them had to learn to speak to each other directly. Planets that relied on human inventions struggled but slowly found new ways to do things. Jobs that humans used to do were filled by others, though the work was often done less well. Gregory Nelson watched all these changes from Proxima Station. Once a busy place where thousands of ships came and went each day, now it was quiet and half-empty. Whole sections of the station were dark to save power. We're getting by, Gorn told Greg one morning, 7 years after the humans left. The orange alien had learned to fix many of the station's systems himself. We'll never be what we were, but we're finding our way. Greg nodded. He was an old man now, with white hair and hands that shook slightly. He was one of only about 50 humans left in all of Council space. The rest had either joined their people in the unknown parts of space or had died of old age. Life always finds a way to continue, Greg agreed. But there's a big difference between just surviving and truly living well. In the council chambers, things had changed too. The meetings were quieter now, with less shouting and more thinking. What did we miss about humans? Asked the newer, younger council members. They studied the human departure like students learning from a mistake. Zixtera was old now. Her once bright blue scales had faded to a dull gray. This would be her last year on the council before she retired. We saw humans as useful tools, not as partners, she admitted. We valued what they could do for us, but not what they thought or felt. We treated them like servants, not equals. The saddest part was that humans had actually earned a council seat 3 times over by the council's own rules. They had the right population numbers, technology level, and cultural achievements. The council had just been too proud to admit it. On Earth, which was now a protected historical site, alien students came to learn about human culture. They walked through empty cities and wondered how things might have been different. Could humans ever come back? A young alien asked Zextera during her final public speech. "I hope so," she said, her voice cracking with age and regret. "But first, we need to become worthy of their return." Gregory Nelson walked through the quiet halls of Proxima Station at night, remembering how it used to be filled with human laughter and music. Sometimes he wondered if he had made the right choice by staying. "They'll be back someday," he told himself. But not until the galaxy learns to see them as equals. 10 years after humans left, a short message came to the galaxy. A small patrol ship near the edge of known space picked it up. "To the Galactic Council. We are well. We hope you are too. We have no hard feelings." That was all. No return address. No clue about where it came from. Just a few words letting the galaxy know that humans were still out there somewhere, still together, and still remembered those they left behind. The council went crazy with excitement. "We found them," shouted Driel, his tentacles waving wildly. He was the head of the search committee now. "No, they found us," corrected Zextera. She had retired from the council, but came back for this special meeting. And they chose to make contact. The council's response was quick and desperate. "Come back. Full membership. Equal status. We admit we were wrong." Days passed. Then weeks. Then months. No answer came. But something else started happening. New information began appearing in science computers across the galaxy. Cures for diseases that had killed millions. Better ways to grow food on poor planets. Fixes for power systems that were breaking down. No one knew where the information came from. No names were attached. But anyone who looked closely could see these new ideas had a human style to them. "They're helping us," Zextera said during a private meeting with the new council leaders. "Even now, from far away, they're helping us." "But why?" asked Yvlera, the young blue alien who had taken Zextera's place on the council. "They don't owe us anything. We treated them badly." Gregory Nelson, now an old man with a cane, was invited to speak to the council. As one of the last humans in council space, his words carried special weight. "Humans help others because that's who we are," Greg said, his voice thin but strong. "It's not about getting something back. It's not about keeping score. It's just our nature to help when we can." The council room was silent. Many looked down, ashamed. "The saddest part," Greg continued, "is that you never really saw us. You saw what we could do for you. You never saw who we were." Across the galaxy, alien doctors used human medical cures without understanding where they came from. Alien farmers used human farming methods. Alien engineers fixed problems with human solutions. And sometimes, far at the edges of known space, alien ships would spot a human vessel. But if they tried to follow or make contact, the human ship would vanish. "They're watching us," Yvlera told the council. "They're helping us, but they're not ready to come back." Gregory knew she was right. His secret communicator still worked. The messages he got told him humans had built something wonderful out in the darkness of space. Something better than what they had left behind. They were waiting to see if the galaxy could learn from its mistakes. 20 years after humans left, the galaxy had changed in surprising ways. The council was different now. They gave smaller species more power and listened better to everyone's ideas. The pride and meanness that made them look down on lesser species was gone, replaced by something more fair and kind. Anonymous human help still appeared when needed. When a deadly plague hit the Oran worlds, a cure showed up in their medical computers. When food ran out on Centauri, new farming methods appeared. No one knew exactly where these gifts came from, but everyone could guess. Sometimes, human ships would be seen at the edges of known space, but if anyone approached them, they would disappear. On Proxima Station, Gregory Nelson lay in his bed, too old and sick to get up anymore. He was the very last human in council space. At 92 years old, his hair was white, and his hands were wrinkled, but his mind was still sharp. His small room beeped with a message on his secret communicator. It was from the humans. out in the unknown parts of space. "We've built something amazing out here, Greg. There's still a place for you, if you want it, even now." Greg smiled and slowly typed his answer. "I did my job here. They finally understand what they lost. Tell our people. Tell them that our absence taught more than our presence ever could." After Greg died, something new began to happen. Young aliens from many species started to leave Council space, heading out into the unknown. They weren't sent by their governments. They went on their own, curious about the humans who had shaped their civilization, and then disappeared. Some never came back. Others returned changed, talking about human worlds where people worked together instead of competing, where helping others was considered normal, not special. In the new council chambers on Earth, moved there as a sign of respect, Yvlera spoke to the gathered leaders. "We used to think we were the center of all civilization. The humans showed us we were wrong, not by arguing or fighting, but simply by walking away and letting us feel what life was like without them." "And now?" asked a young green alien with 4 arms. "Now we build something better," she answered. "Something good enough to make them want to come home." Far away, on planets the Council had never seen, humans lived and worked and built their own civilization. They made friends with alien species the Council had never met. They felt no anger toward those they had left behind. Humans had simply moved on, just as they always had throughout their history. And if the Council truly learned, if they really built something new and better, maybe someday the humans would return. Not as servants, but as equals. Because that was all they had ever wanted.